you have a whole new way of assessing things because you're not restricted by what has to go in each exam. Okay, I think that's great. I personally, that makes it more like mathematics and less like sort of some random subject on numeracy. What does that then mean you're losing from modular examination that I think some kids might have found comforting?
Objectivity.
Yeah. Okay. This will be a big challenge. I think this is going to be a huge change because of the nature of the fact you have people feel like it's one shot, because of the fact that you can't necessarily predict that, you know, you have an hour and a half to teach data analysis at GCSE. There's pretty much, you know, you get 90% of all the syllabuses in the exam every single time. Okay, so what is missed out is just rotated, but you know what's going to be there. You now don't necessarily know if your favourite topic's going to be there, and you have to know everything because you don't know what's going to be in it. And so that does present a different challenge. And so I think the other thing you're going to need to think about as a tutor is how you verse yourself in considering, as part of your tuition, working with exam performance, anxiety, preparation, okay, the way in which they think about those exams and the work they're doing, how they relate to what they're able to achieve in the classroom or with you, depending on, you know, wherever they feel more comfortable, less comfortable, and how those sort of different situations, they can learn from those and realise that when they go into a third situation, which is exams, they can still perform at a level that they feel proud of. All right, and so that's another interesting thing. And I know that we've had some sessions here at Tutorfair talking with people about that. I found that really useful. I've started to take that and think about that actually, and how I was successful in exams in terms of exam technique, not just subject knowledge. And I think when you have that special one-on-one relationship with a student and they trust you and you're getting towards those exams, you've spent a number of hours with them, they will listen to you, and I think your advice can really help in that preparation. Okay, and also when you get to a stage where you're confident of their abilities and you can see them do all the stuff they know they can do, and the only thing that needs to happen is that they need to do that on that one day, okay, or those 3 days. Helping them through that is going to be invaluable because they will listen to you. All right, it's really important that you are able to make the most of that relationship in ensuring that students feel comfortable, that they're not only confident with the knowledge they have, or they've seen the things, but they know that whatever is sort of thrown at them, whatever happens in the exam, the preparation that you've offered them puts them in the best position to demonstrate their best performance. There is nothing more horrible than maths assessment as far as I'm concerned. I think it is so narrow, it is so blunt, it's so easy to make it narrow and blunt that it is. I think this is a better attempt at doing it. They are trying to make it more about understanding how people think and giving people more of an opportunity to get credit for process and having some idea rather than just getting an answer. So it's a step in the right direction, but it is still tough and there's still a huge amount of pressure on it, and I think it is likely that students are going to feel more of the pressure because their school have told them it's double weighted and because they need it to get onto sixth form, which they now have to go to, and every job in the world requires a 5. That is going to sort of be the stress. They're not going to realise actually they've been given a better opportunity. They are better prepared. They are probably use maths in a more practical and interesting way. They are making better connections than previous students who got C's. Okay, so they're probably better exercised and better qualified as humans. Unfortunately, the world needs to measure them, and so you need to go through this. And I think, therefore, as part of your teaching practice, you will want to think about exam technique and how you can help them and prepare them for those 1.5 hour periods. Right? A lot of tutoring sessions will be an hour long. Exams are now going to be an hour and a half long. So it might be worth considering or talking to parents about having some sessions, even if it means splitting them up if they can't afford different things, but having some sessions which are that long and require the student to concentrate for that long. Just simple things like training them to be able to concentrate for that amount of time. It's extraordinary. I work in a school in Switzerland where we had this one kid who could not sit down for 10 minutes, age 13. I was sitting thinking, what has he been doing his whole life? And it was, you could see it on his face when we made him sit down, forcing himself to do it. 2 months in, he could do an hour and a half without disturbing everyone else. That was progress. 3 months in, he was able to do an hour and a half of his own work and actually produce something which was quite good. And that was really nice to see as well. But the fact that actually getting him to that point meant that if he went into any situation where that was required of him, that doesn't scare him. That's not what's going to stop him. Okay, you don't want it to be something like that that stops someone who's good enough at maths to get a decent grade or to feel proud of something being stopped from getting that grade because they've never sat down and done work for 90 minutes. Okay, they've never been asked to do that. So build that into your thoughts. Some of that that sort of that change of preparation, I think, is going to be important.